And all of my time of doing music is one thing that I've tried to do, like as often as possible that I feel is important. And that's go out of town, go to other cities and shit. Especially, being from a smaller town, like, it was only so many opportunities that you had, to do things musically. And it was a very short list of things, you know what I mean? You can put some music out, promote it, you know, perform a couple places here and there, but it's just really, nothing going on musically in smaller areas. So it was just always important to me to, try to travel and, just go to different places and see how it was to, do music in other places. And it's just always been a good experience. I can't even say for the most part. I just think it's always been a good experience, yo. And like, I just think that it make you see things in a different way, yo. It's like, all right, so I guess like an analogy, like a comparison that I can make is like if you ever play sports, like you got home games and you got away games. Like, home games is cool. They always exciting because you get to play in front of your peoples and you playing unfamiliar territory. So it's like you kind of got like the advantage and shit like that with certain things. And it's kind of like the same thing with music. You know what I mean? If you performing at home, you're more likely to have people, more people there. You know what I mean? That and shit like that. And you know how the vibe gonna be and the setting and all that. But if you're out of town, it might be unfamiliar territory, but there's still like some type of excitement in that. You know what I mean? I remember, my younger days playing basketball. It was like, we go out of town to play other teams and other places and shit. And it was like I remember like walking in the gym and you seeing a bunch of people that you don't know and they don't know you and they looking at you and they know that you about to play against who they there to see. And it's just like it's kind of like the same thing with music. You know what I mean? When you go out of town, it's like people that's there, to watch, what's going on. Like they there to see who they there to see, but they don't realize like if you go out there and put on a good show and they interested in your music, that's a new supporter that you done gained and shit. So it's just so many things you could do, man. Like when you go out of town, and then it's like you can just experience new things in general. Not just music. You know what I mean? But you can just have another notch under your belt as far as places you visited and things you can do. Like when you go to other cities and shit like that. I don't know, man. Like I think it's just real important to get outside of that box and that comfort zone and just do as much as you can in as many places you go. Um, I don't know, like traveling always been my thing, like especially, when it came to music. I told myself, from this point on, I'm gonna try to make it to where like at least once a year, I can go somewhere and do something, like regarding music. You know what I mean? I got some shit up my sleeve for this year. You know what I mean? I don't know exactly what. It's down to a couple options, but I just know, what I mean, that it's definitely gonna be music related and it's gonna be effective. You know what I mean? That's the main thing. You know what I mean? It's like you don't want to like go out of town, invest all this bread and then just go out of town and bullshit. You know what I mean? You want something to come out of it. It's like you know, set up to perform somewhere, like set up to go to the studio and record. Shoot video. Something like work with other artists, but it's just I just think you get a whole different experience of music, when you go to other places. And that's just speaking from my experience, you know what I mean? It might be some people that, it might not affect them any kind of way. It might just be like being at home. But I don't know, man. I would recommend, every artist that, that, you know what I mean, if it's within your means, you know, you should try it. And even if it ain't within your means at the moment, make it something that you work towards, because sometimes, you know, you got to work towards something that'll motivate you. It's just everything ain't just going to be laid out for you to be motivated. Sometimes, you know, you have to work towards that one thing, or, you know, that variety of things, you know what I mean, that get you more motivated. But definitely, I recommend, you know, taking a trip out of town and doing something music related.